Hey, welcome to another just kind of test and tune live stream. Just going through and changing the way I do my live streams, adding some flair to it. Not 12 pieces, but I'm trying to go for like 14 pieces of flair, if you know what I'm talking about. Figure I might as well just hit the go live button while I'm doing this. You guys want to chat? Ask me some questions over in the old doobly doo over there on the side. Go for it, man. Just kind of hanging out, real informal, kind of like I did last night, I believe. But yeah, just kind of playing around with the layout a little bit. Just trying to see how it looks between what you see on the browser and also kind of what you see on the old mobile device there. So if you're not busy, you want to just hang out, let me know what you think. How's the audio sound, the video, the picture? This is a work in progress. I guess this is a work in progress, but it's going downhill. But as far as like the overall layout goes, got some Wi-Fi connected bobbly things in all the things there, so I can kind of play around with the lighting a little bit better. Really been working on the audio kind of setup I have going on here. Need to move some camera gear around, and I got some new lights. They're super soft and super bright. I splurged and went for the nicer stuff, but with the I went with the Apple streaming products. I bought some Elgato lights. Chopper, how you doing? Upgrade my camera. This is my Logitech Brio 4K camera. It's a higher end webcam. Audio today I'm using the old lavalier mic, which actually I forgot to. It's wireless, which I've had it for a while. Sorry if this is loud. I want to do some Velcro here. Watch your earballs. There. I'll stick that transmitter in my pocket. Yeah, the audio should sound a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday I was just using the inbuilt microphone on the webcam, so this should be better. But I did buy some new lights today. I bought a Elgato Key Light Air, and then that's over here, and then the Elgato Key Light. Yeah, so we can go back to craptastic lighting here. And my lighting yesterday was kind of something like that. Plus I got some Wi-Fi enabled LED adjustable light bulbs. So that's kind of how my lighting was yesterday. And then with the Key Light Air over here, kind of as a backfill, and then more of a front facing light there. I think it looks pretty good. But here is the kicker. How's that look? A little better? I think it makes a huge difference. That's not a webcam. That's a Sony A5100. The color and the background blur is just quite a bit different, I think. But I mean, for a webcam, doesn't look too bad. Hey, Eric Allen, how you doing, buddy? Welcome back. More test and tune with the streaming setup. Got some LED bulbs in. Got some new lights today, and the lights make a big difference. They're bright. They can be bright as hell. I've got one of them set at about 23%, the other one at 37%. crank this sucker up. It gets pretty bright. Yeah, but I definitely think that this looks a lot better. So Eric Allen, I started doing some research on the whole the progress bar at the bottom, and yes, Streamlabs does not support tracking that with super chats, but it is pretty easy to just go in and kind of fat finger the updates if you want to do it that way. I do like the bar. I'll probably keep using it. Eric, yeah, 3 days off, awesome, man. So Monday's a federal holiday, so I got Monday off, which is kind of nice. But yeah, just kind of messing around with the lights. Audio should be a lot better now, and we can go and mix in a little bit of background noise there. I've been doing a lot of A/B testing. I can't tell how loud it is on the stream until I like do a recording, stop it, go back and play it back to try to figure out like where the balance of sound is. And I think I have it pretty well balanced for like a real soft background music. You could probably go down just a little bit more, to be honest. And then got a dust cam set up here. Just trying different things. I need to fix that. No, that's still not right. There we go. That's better. So now when I point to the left, it points to the left on the screen when I'm pointing to the left, because it was all inverted and backwards before. So this is actually working out pretty good here. The autofocus is a little rough on this camera. I'll probably just shut off the autofocus, to be honest. Hey, Chris Croft, welcome. Thanks a lot. Just been spending quite a bit of time trying to get this looking good. I figured I'd just hit the go live button while I'm doing it. And just chit chat, see how things are going. I do like how wide of a view there is on this this webcam here, but the exposure is really kind of hit or miss. It's weird how it auto exposures, and if you turn auto exposure off, the frame rate goes to shit. I don't know why. It's like you can't, with auto exposure on, or sorry, auto exposure off, you can't get to the same color balance with all the manual sliders as you can with it being on. It's webcams are weird, and then I think you lose all your settings after you restart your computer, which it's kind of a real pain in the butt. But I do like a nice widescreen. You see how the auto exposure really is really aggressive. My face is a little blown out on this thing. Yeah, see if we kill the auto exposure, then see the frame rate just goes man. Bring the brightness up. Ooh. This is how I figure out camera settings. You just start going min to max on everything, see what happens. Yeah, see, I can kind of get the picture back, but I can't get the frame rate back. Webcams are weird. Oh well. Eric, Alan, so the camera you're looking at right now is the Logitech Brio 4K. Really good webcam. It's the only webcam I've found that's worth a shit that actually has Windows Hello recognition. So when I sit down on my computer, I look at it, it reads my irises and it logs in. Super awesome feature. If you're an Android user, especially like a Samsung, where they use iris scanning, you'll really appreciate that. So that is the Logitech Brio. This one here is the Logitech C922 Pro. Pretty decent webcam. It's probably $1 for value. This is probably one of the best webcams you can get. And this one here, this is not a webcam. This is a Sony A5100 with an Elgato 4K cam link fed into the computer. Clearly this is the best picture. I wish it was wider. It's just the standard kit lens. It's a 16-50. Yeah, 16-50 lens. But super affordable. If you're trying to get into streaming and you don't want to go the webcam route, the Sony A5100, if you can snatch one of those up for $300, you got to find the right person that doesn't know what it is they have. Awesome autofocus. You can see it. It autofocuses really quick. Excellent picture quality. Clean HDMI out, so when you send that out to the computer, there's no overlay or any of the symbology on it. 1080p 60 recording, and beautiful camera. No microphone in, which kind of sucks. Mine, I actually took mine apart and soldered in a headphone jack so I could put a microphone input on it. I don't recommend doing that. There's a lot of really small soldering and stuff that's got to go on. Travis Stevens, welcome. But yeah, Sony A5100, and then if you could find yourself a used cam link or something like that. And honestly, there's there's some like $20 kind of Chinese knockoff HDMI UVC capture cards on Amazon that I think they'll do 1080. I think they'll do 1080-60. I've got one on my other setup over in the other room. I think they'll do 1080-60. I know they'll do 1080-30. They do a decent job. They're dirt cheap. But the downside with the Sony A5100 is if you're actually recording, like recording to the SD card, after about 10 minutes it overheats and shuts off. Really sucks. Sony mirrorless cameras, especially the Alpha series, have had a big issue with that for quite a while. But doing the streaming where it's just outputting through the HDMI port, you can record all day long, or not record, but like stream all day long. And then you just get like an infinity power pack. It's basically just a dummy battery with a DC jack coming out of it. You plug into the wall and it provides power constantly. But pretty easy, pretty cheap setup. Most people want like $500 for a used A5100, but if you wait, you find some lady that bought a camera for taking pictures at her brother, sister's, cousin, sister's roommate's wedding. You can pick them up for like about $300, but you gotta be ready to jump on them when they pop up. Travis Stevens, Sony mirrorless is great in general. I have a 6300. Yeah, that is a great camera. I plan on getting a 6400 probably the next 2 weeks. I want to make the jump to 4K. Not that I'm going to actually like edit in 4K, but I want that extra resolution and the headphone jack, which would be nice. Plus, I think the 6400, they've actually fixed the overheating issues. But I think I'm pretty happy with the setup in general I got going here. I do like to do like bench work, and I don't know if I'm going to maybe bring the gear I need for working on something out to here, or if I'm going to run like an HDMI cable through the wall. So right on the other side of this wall is like where my normal where I used to be streaming from, and that's also where my workbench is. But I definitely like this better, just for like the kind of like the talking head web streaming type thing. I've also been doing a lot of recording of my videos using OBS, kind of as the same setup, but just with a cleaner background. Good. Thanks, Eric. I really appreciate that. How's the background music sound? I'll shut up for a second. Is it too loud, or is it kind of right where it needs to be? Lighting makes a huge difference, guys. Like these Elgato key lights are awesome. Oh, Travis, you can't see it. Interesting. Thoughtless, thanks, man. And then the other thing I really like about this, so I'm completely wireless, which is awesome. I've got the uplift desk. Which just barely clears the X-Class drone that's in the background. So I've been, like when I'm working at my computer, instead of using one of those stupid balance boards, which this desk came with a balance board, but I gave it to my wife for her desk upstairs, I've just been standing on the old one wheel. Figure we'll do as balance board as it gets. It's kind of fun. Yeah, that's the idea, Chomper. Thanks, man. I appreciate the feedback on that. Just want it so like there's no like dead air, but I don't want it overpowering. Travis, yeah. The homebrew one wheel's sitting right there. Yeah, the one I built right there, the one I'm on right now is like an actual one wheel pint. I've been trying to get my daughter into riding the one wheels a little bit more, and I got her down in the basement, this area, this weekend, and just kind of put her on it, kind of talked her through it again. She's really light, so she has a hard time getting her foot centered on that front foot sensor. She rode it for a little bit. She got kind of frustrated, so I went away, went upstairs, made lunch, came downstairs, and I come through the door, and she didn't hear me, and she's on the one wheel going back and forth, along the backside of the couch, using it to kind of brace herself while watching TV. She had no idea it was there. It it was kind of cool. Yeah, Eric Allen, I built one. Let me go grab it real quick. I'll show you. So that's the home built one wheel. Mostly 3D printed, like all the compartments. So the battery box and the electronic compartments are printed. The rails are aluminum. Typical hub motor. It's got a cheap Fokker Fungineers vest, so it's kind of an open source project. I don't have the lights in it yet. It's got little fangs on it, carry handle in front. But this has been a lot of fun. It was a fun project. I even built the battery for it, which was which I had one or two oh shit moments. I have a video of it. Yeah, let me dig up a video real quick here. Well, all right. So the cost of the home built one wheel, unfortunately, it's about $600 once you're all in. Sorry, bear with me. I'm digging through my computer here. Well, that's not working like I was hoping it would work. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Does it ride as nice as the original? No, not quite. I'd say it's about 90% of the way there. The issue that I have with the home built one wheel is it's only on 12S, because that's all the VESC will support. It really needs to be higher. It needs more voltage. I could put a bigger VESC in it. I just haven't gone down that road yet. As far as everything else goes, it performs pretty much the same. It's missing that little bit of grunt that the Pint has. But as far as the motion control and the ride feel, like on flat ground, it's perfectly fine. Little inclines are fine. Honestly, like going down my gravel driveway here, like in the video, I like the home built one better. I don't know why. It just feels better going down like loose gravel. It might be because I got that treaded tire on it. The Pint that I'm standing on right now, it just has a slick tire on it, and it doesn't do too well on the gravel. I'm meaning to change the tire out on it. Lithium ion. So it's a 12S2 P pack. So 2 in series, or sorry, 2 in parallel, and then 12 in series. But I mean, these can be built for less than what I have into it. It just depends on how cheap you want to get, basically. You know, I've got 4 sensing resistors in the front foot pad. You could go with a button. seriously, it could be that simple, that cheap. As far as like the Vesk is, you know, it is what it is. You can't really get around the price of the Vesk too much. See, the Vesk, for what it is, it's extremely affordable, and it's a very high quality Vesk. Vesk is about $67, but unfortunately, the one that kind of the group that I work through, it only does 12S. The guy's working on one. He has a bunch out for testing that go up to, I think, 16S, and that would be perfect. The hub motor is about $130. The dimensions are almost exactly the same as a pint. The frame that I have on this one, the two rails and the locking blocks for the hub are $95. Hey Travis, thanks a lot, man. But the fun wheel build was a lot of fun. Building your own battery. I mean, a lot of the cost is the battery, because let's see, what cells did I use? I don't remember. No, I used Molicel. So I used Molicel P26A cells, and those suckers run about $5 a pop, and there's 24 of them in this battery. And then you have to have a BMS. Oh, you don't have to have a BMS, but I chose to do a BMS because I want the battery to charge inside of the board, not there we go. Okay, so the battery's a 12S 2P battery, so that's 24 cells. I wanted to have a BMS in there because I want to be able to just plug the board in with a 12S power supply and have it charge and kind of manage the voltage inside the battery. The BMS, I don't remember how much I paid for that. I think it was probably a $50 BMS, but that's just added complexity and really completes the build. The battery takes up the whole front of the box, so the battery's about, you know, the battery's huge. It weighs a ton, and it's probably most of the cost, like the most expensive single item in the entire build. And since it's all kind of open source, there's some features on this thing that are better, in my opinion, than the one wheel. Every parameter can be adjusted on it. It's almost like tuning a quad. You have PID tunes. You have PIDs to adjust for the Vesk because it has an IMU on it. And it's all open source. You can have different profiles, so you can make it ride like 1 or 2 degrees nose up. You can change how loose the board feels or how tight it is. Honestly, it's not my build schematic. Let me get you a link to the guy who does this thing. So Fungineer Tech, this is his website, where he sells the Vesk, the hub motor, and the frame kit. If you buy the frame kit, he gives you all the STLs for the 3D printed files. And then as far as the actual build of materials, here's his YouTube channel. Go there, subscribe, bookmark it. He has a Google Doc to the whole build process, or not the build process, but the build materials. It's all AliExpress, and it's all AliExpress parts. They take a while to get here. There's a lot of little bits and pieces, like spacers, screws, things like that. Speedy, welcome, buddy. This is just another kind of goofing around, setting up the live stream. So there's a company called P-Hub. They sell hub motors in damn near every shape, size, color, flavor. You name it, they got it. Check them out. It's a Chinese company. My dad's actually used them for some projects. He was fixing a friend of ours. He's old Vietnam vet, Agent Orange. You know, he's confined to a wheelchair for most of his life, and he had an electric scooter that the motor fried out. So he bought a P-Hub replacement motor. They were completely off on the specs on like the shaft size and all that stuff. So, and a lot of headache. You know, my dad's not used to dealing with how the Chinese deal with customer service, so he was really kind of pissed off about it. But you know, eventually he got it resolved. P-Hub, Dauntless, is that what you're asking? Papa Hotel Uniform Bravo. P-Hub, like pissing hub. I'll do you one better. I'll drop you a link. There you go. Oh, sorry, PP. It's PP, not P-Hub. My bad. PEI, PEI. How do I charge it? So I have a charger with a XLR port on it that is 50 volts, I think. Yeah, it's just a DC power supply, but it's got an XLR port on it. Plugs into the side of the front of the board, kind of where you see down by my back foot here. That goes in, and that basically pushes voltage into the BMS. The BMS will cut the voltage off depending on the individual cell voltage. There's lots of different BMSs out there. BMS meaning battery management system. The one I bought is Bluetooth. It's a little bit more expensive and it's bigger, but here's some of the coolness that comes with it. If I can get it to work here. So let's go with. So here's the BMS interface. So this is actually talking to the battery pack in my home built one wheel right now. Each individual cell voltage is listed right there. The two that are flashing, that's the highest and the lowest cell. And you can use your BMS for both charging and discharge. I chose to bypass the discharge part of it because I didn't want that to be one of the things to cause a nosedive or cause any issues. The VESC itself will cut off for low voltage or high current. Chopper man, we'll see you later. Thanks for coming around for this just rando live stream thing. I love the live streams. At 41, am I too old to get into this? Nope. I'm closer to 40 than 30. And the first time I rode a one wheel, I got comfortable on it after about 20 minutes. And within an hour, it tried to kill me. I broke my nose and bruised a rib. Immediately went home and bought one from Pyrodrone. I regret nothing. It's just so much fun. Like going down to the mailbox, I got a long driveway. I don't walk down there. I ride my one wheel down there. It's just fun. They're just so damn expensive. They're so stupid expensive. So that's what I'm struggling with now. The home built one wheel is everything I got into it. I think I'm about $600 in, and that's not including any tools. I bought a spot welder. I was going to build one. You can build them pretty darn cheap, but I found a dude that was selling an unused, unassembled K-weld for like $30. I could not turn that down, so I bought that. But a brand new one wheel pint is $900. I know that seems like a lot more, but the two aren't quite on the same level, and that's why I really haven't been able to recommend the home built one wheel yet. I don't know for the average person the amount of time and effort that goes into it, plus the money is worth the $300 you save over like the genuine deal, which does work better. You just hit 500 miles on your XR yesterday? Nice. I have no idea how many miles I have on my pint. My daughter put 2 miles on it Saturday and Sunday, just going back and forth along the side of the couch watching TV. She's just doing kind of like what I'm doing right now. She was just kind of going back and forth along the couch to kind of steady herself. And she managed to rack up 2 miles on it. Oh, you like the Tiny Hawk 2 I sent you? That is my custom race tune that's on there. It's a little bit of Project Mockingbird and a lot of just kind of how I like to race that thing. Let's see, my pint, I have 73 miles on it. I really haven't ridden it as much as I would like to. I try to ride it as much as I can, but I've been putting most of my time on the home built one wheel just for test and tuning. Found out the hard way, if you're inside the VESC configurator and you change something and you hit right while you're riding it, you will no longer be riding it because it will try to kill you. The custom startup tone, that's not custom. That is JESC. It's the JESC firmware. So that Tiny Hawk 2 has ESC telemetry on it, or ESC telemetry. Well, ESC telemetry, but RPM motor filtering, motor RPM filter. Damn it, words. RPM filtering. That's what it is. Yeah, it flies pretty darn good. So, after the last couple days of playing around with the live stream stuff, I'm pretty much set on this being kind of the main talking head kind of layout here. fingers, Speedy. And then this is going to be the kind of the bench view with my craptastic poorly cut frame. Oh, that's the right one. Oh, that's a good one too. Hang on. Ah, here's the bad one. And then I think like this one will just kind of be like a browser view. I really like the 9x16 kind of window that I got going here. These are the battery packs that I used. Then again, AliExpress here. So most of the parts come from AliExpress. It's just the best place to find cheap, large quantities. I've been really slacking on the projects I got going on for the channel. I've been working on these like first time flyer kits, and I just have not gotten off my dead ass to finish those things up. Let's see, so some of the parts you need, a bunch of M6 screws, a bunch of M4 screws, more M6 screws. So this is the charger for it. Pretty darn cheap, 14, 15 bucks, and it has a an XLR jack on it right here, like that. A bunch of brass standoffs, so that goes through like the battery box to screw the bottom plate and the top plate down to the thing. A jack, a receiving jack for the XLR charger. M4 screws. This is the BMS that I put in it. I mean, you could go with the cheapo, just normal BMS for like 25 bucks. This is the smart BMS with a Bluetooth interface on it. But that goes inside your battery pack. So after you get done welding up all your 18650s, you stick this on the thing, try not to short anything out. You solder the balanced lead to all the batteries, and then that's your BMS. And I'm working on adding LEDs to it. So there's some cob red, green, white LEDs. There's some other cob LEDs that I have that I'm kind of messing around with. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to deal with it. Speedturl doing another giveaway first of next month. Awesome, buddy. I'll remind everybody I do giveaways over on my Patreon monthly. I still haven't put out my December FPV crate video. Me and FPV crate are having some issues right now. They can't seem to send 2 orders every month. Out of the last 6 months, they've only managed to send me 2 at the same time once. I am the only person who orders more than 1 box a month, and it's, I mean, I get it. You just get in the habit of just shipping one out. When somebody comes by with 2 on their order, they miss it. But they've been taking forever to send me the replacement. And they're trying to put me on their affiliate program, which would be nice, since I always buy 2, one for me, one for you. Just kind of waiting for the approval. I've got December's build video. I got December's video done, but I never got my affiliate code, so I've been holding on to releasing it. I think I'm just going to release it and not have the affiliate code in there. Just dump it in later on. Who won the squirt? L. Leston, one of my patrons, won the squirt. A happy person. This month I'm giving away. What am I giving away? I don't remember. What is it I'm giving away? I can't remember. It's not a good sign, is it? Oh, Eachine US65 Pro. It's a 2S 65mm. Whoop. Uses the GMB 27 connector. So that is this month's giveaway. Had a maximum of 13 concurrent viewers. That's pretty good for a completely unannounced, kind of random stream. I'm a patron. Why didn't I win? I thought you win everything, man. What do you guys think of the background? You like the purple in the lights? I don't know why this Rob Logan, did I move? I'm moving right now. Moving to the left, moving to the right. Eric Allen. Look at that. Notification and everything. Welcome, buddy. Welcome to the patrons. No, I didn't move. I just moved on the other side of the wall that my my normal streaming setup is at. Yeah, still kind of just trying to figure everything out. I'm gonna try doing a whole live stream while standing on one wheel. Not moving yet. I might be moving this summer though. So just to give you some perspective, inside there, right here, that is where I was streaming from. And you can see I'm streaming from just on the other side of the wall now. I had a big clunky desk in here that just kind of ate into the room. Is that Liner? Liner? I'm gonna go with Liner. L1er? Liner? I do play some games. Not a lot. Long story. Big into Halo when it came out. Call of Duty, all that stuff. I moved to northern Michigan, sweet little place called Traverse City. Didn't have internet for 5 years. So all the online gaming went away. Moved down to where I'm at in the dirty South. Got the internet again. Been doing this stuff. The last real game that I played was Fallout New Vegas, which I really enjoyed. No, Fallout 76. Wait, which one's older? New Vegas or 76? Whichever the older one is. And then recently I just started playing Cyberpunk 2077. got a pretty decent computer that can run it at, you know, a blazing 30 frames per second. I like. I do play some. I have played some shooters. I played Warzone, CS:GO. I don't have the Twitch skills I used to have when I was younger. Plus, back then I played on console. I don't have console anymore. PC. I don't have like gaming mice, and gaming peripherals. This is a big clunky MX Master 3. Just something I use for editing. But I do enjoy it. I don't get a whole lot of time to do it. Typically, whatever free time I have, it's doing this kind of stuff, working on reviews for like Banggood or like product testing. FR Sky has finally gotten me another firmware release for the X9 Lite S for race mode, which will unlock 4 millisecond latency on the Archer series of receivers with hardware you might already have. So have to get around to testing that out. I've got the Ishin Shadow Fiend that I'm working on a review for. I've got all the the bench breakdown and talking points done. I've got a quick little freestyle rip in the backyard with it. Need to go out and do some actual like time-consuming long-range, you know, burning holes over my house testing. Eric Allen, dude, thanks for the nice words. I appreciate that. Yeah, I would never ask somebody to support me if it meant the difference between them eating or surviving or living an easier life for themselves. And if you are in that situation, you are in this hobby, the best thing you can do is just click those affiliate links. tweetfpv.com. I got my own website. If you want to go there, it has all the information about me. I mean, not the information about me, but at least about the channel. Doesn't talk about my job or my personal life or anything like that, but at least all my affiliate links are there. Let's see. Over to the chat. Interesting test. Yeah, that was a fun test. I need to get out and do it again. I want to try to get out Friday and retest. I have heard, strangely enough, that TBS has announced that they're working on new firmware for the Tracer to make it have better range, because the range on it sucks. It is not good. It's good enough. It's good enough. No way in hell it's doing the 15 miles that they advertise it's going to do. No way. No way it's going to do longer than what Crossfire does. It's just not how RF works. You can't invent RF. Do you think Crossfire will get lower latency too? Nope, it won't. That's not the point of Crossfire. Crossfire is for low frequency, long range. Increasing or shortening the latency adds in more chance of error. Maybe I gotta do the HTTP. How about that? Is that a link now? Oh, that looks like a link. Haha, Speedy Turtle. Awesome, buddy. Thank you so much. Let's see if I can do this here. So Streamlabs doesn't automatically track the donationer thingy, so I need to go to all widgets, donation goal, end goal. Oh, you mother effer. I know you like that. Hey, that worked. It took some time, but it worked. Sweet. Again, thank you so much, Speedy. Do you think if I have full-size crossfire and I don't race, should I even look at anything else? I've been dipping my toes into 2+ miles out. Nope. Wouldn't mess with it. Full-size crossfire is going to be the best thing for what you're doing. Tracer is for people who race. That is all it's for. It's not for long range or anything like that. It's for racing. Does crossfire on 150 mode have more range than tracer? Ooh, that's a good question. Never thought of that one. Crossfire 150 range is pretty short. I wouldn't. I'm gonna guess on this. I don't know for a fact, but I'm gonna guess that it's not gonna have better range than tracer. And I think the only thing better for long range than crossfire would be Dragon Link, but nobody uses Dragon Link in this hobby, so it's kind of a moot point. But in general, the lower the frequency, the farther the range is, because if you see how, let me see if I can do. All right. So here we go. We're gonna bust out the old tweet cat here. So if you got like a 900 megahertz signal, and some of you guys may already know this, but some might not. This is kind of what the RF frequency is going to. So 900 megahertz, that's how many times it's going to happen, a complete up and down swing in 1 second. So 900 megahertz is not going to look exactly like this, but you get an idea. So that's 900 megahertz. So there is 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame. This is just the wavelength itself. That's 900 megahertz. So when you start talking like 2.4 gigahertz, it's going to look like this. And so on and so forth. A much, much shorter wavelength. The problem with the short wavelength is that, say you have, you say you have this, nice, puffy, happy tree. That'll be our secret, this little tree here. You have that little tree there. That 2.4 gigahertz signal is so short, and has such a short wavelength, that when it hits that tree, or hits that obstacle, hits that water molecule, hits the dust in the air, it is going to get absorbed much more readily than the big, honking, slower 900 megahertz wave. You ever looked at your microwave? Next time you get a chance, go look at your microwave. You'll notice there's like a little grid, little circles, all across the door of your microwave. That is to keep the wavelength of the microwaves from getting out. Those holes are small enough that they are smaller than the wavelength of the microwave radiation that's inside a microwave. The wave can't make its way through that hole, for the most part. Now, if the hole is bigger, the wavelength could make its way out. This is a basic RF propagation theory. I spent a lot of time studying this stuff in my line of work. Yeah, no way in hell it's getting 15 kilometers. Okay, maybe theoretically, based on RF propagation of the wavelength and the power behind it, in a perfect scenario, sure, it could go to the moon and back. It's not the world we live in. Dust in the air, water molecules, humidity, that all attenuates RF. The shorter wavelength gets attenuated much easier than the larger wavelength. So Dragon Link is so much superior to Crossfire because it runs at like 430 megahertz. Yeah, it was maybe half mile down the road. It was getting little micro fail safes, and that was with the diversity antennas, 90 degrees out from each other. I think Crossfire screwed up. I think Ghost did the right thing by doing. They did diversity on the transmitter, not on the receiver, because I don't want to screw with two antennas. If you take your receiver antennas and do this to them, or your transmitter antennas, it's the same thing as having two antennas on your quad and one in your transmitter. I think Ghost is a better setup. I don't have Ghost, I haven't tried it, haven't messed with it, but I think that would be the better way to go. I don't want to mess with two antennas on my quad. Yeah, it's antenna diversity, not true diversity. It's just listening to RSSI on each antenna, and whichever, like, it's just switching back and forth, and whichever one it says, oh, that's better, it stays with that one. But it's constantly sampling back and forth. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, I think he's advertising it has higher range than Crossfire. That is not. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be possible. It shouldn't be accurate. Crossfire should get farther range because it's a lower frequency. Plain and simple. RF is RF. You can't reinvent it by putting TBS magic behind it. Well, I mean, so Eric Allen, having a diversity Crossfire receiver is not going to get you any more range than the Nano. It's going to help prevent the chances of you sticking a null point towards your transmitter. That's really all it's going to do. It's not going to give you double the range. It's going to give you double the coverage. Range is going to be the same. Zach, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. And the whole antenna polarity thing, that's good in theory, but what about on the quads like this? Or like this? Or like this? Or like this? Or like this? Polarity is bullshit. Like, your quad is not staying. I mean, it is going to stay kind of in a certain area, a certain space, but as soon as you tilt, turn, pitch, the polarization, it's out the window. If that was true, every time we'd flip upside down, we'd lose video, right? It may make a difference in a controlled environment with the quad in one orientation, never altering that as far out as possible. But as soon as you turn, that antenna is no longer in the same plane because it's going to have to turn. You know, let's say you've got your Crossfire antenna like this. As soon as you turn, or you pitch or bank, now you're affecting it. So, in a lab sense, yes, it does make a difference. In reality or practicality, I don't think it makes a difference. So I think I've been standing on the one wheel for about an hour now. Feet are starting to get a little numb. I've got the Cushnug High rear pad on this thing. Big difference. Really helps out. On Crossfire, have I ever had a failsafe? Yes. So there's one spot where I fly at Battleship Park in Mobile, Alabama, that R9 and Crossfire failsafe damn near every time. I don't know what the hell it is, but there must be some high energy RF coming out of a certain area there, and everybody fail-safes. Austel is also there, and they build They build ships for various seagoing services that have a couple megawatt radar systems, and they typically try to, use it to track where the USS Alabama is for ranging purposes, and that happens to be right where our field is, and we lose video on our goggles and RF on our radios kind of randomly, and we didn't know why. I think we know why now. Spleef, how could people fly so insane with high crossfire latency? And if I want to fly Bando, I can't use Tracer. Alec, nice seeing you too. Flying at USS Alabama, it's lower Alabama RC. We have a field right there. Spleef, I'm not really following what you're saying. The latency on Crossfire is not that high compared to S-Bus and older PPM. It is higher than like Tracer, but you don't know the difference until you go back. That's kind of the deal. So Eric Allen, so there's the USS Alabama. Right here is lower Alabama remote control. That's where we fly. That's where the Delta 5 crew flies. It's LARC. That's the group that runs this. Right here is like the R9 dead, or the 900 megahertz dead zone. You fly here, you better have a lot of power or be flying very high because you're gonna fail safe. I have been here probably 40 or 50 times. I have never once gone to the USS Alabama or the drum. A couple cool older Coast Guard vessels. There's a 52 out here on display. The old Goat. Or no, that's not the Goat. That's the Sea Guard. And there's a Goat right there. Fun little bit of trivia. The Coast Guard used to have an entire fleet of aircraft that could land in the water. Little trivia. He bought a motorcycle at the parking lot. Yeah, it's a good club. We got a lot of really good guys. SR-71 is still there, right here. Yep, SR-71's still in the parking lot. We've been trying to prior to COVID and prior to the construction that they had to do after the last hurricane. The last hurricane tore this shit all up. We were trying to work with the director to do a whoop race inside the aircraft pavilion, and we're almost there. The last hurricane that came through really screwed up a lot of stuff. I think the whole gift shop is pretty much shut down. Our little, I'm not actually on, sorry, SR-71 right there. Our little hut right here, we had power to it. We don't anymore because the power ran through this building, and this building is like one good stiff fart from falling down. So we no longer have power at the field. We've been working on getting that back, but with COVID and everything, there hasn't been a whole lot of participation or interest. Like, I'm honestly worried that the club is gonna. I think club might actually die. I'll be honest. Attendance is pretty poor. Everybody's just a bad time. We still do micro races every once in a while. But this month is our month off. We'll have another race, I think second Saturday in February. Want to come out, try your hand at racing? AMA Club, yep. You have to be at least an AMA member to fly there. As far as being a member of LARC, you don't need to be a member of Lower Alabama RC to race if you want to just race. If you want to just do a fun fly, you've got to be with another member, really, is all it comes down to. If you are a member of LARC, you do get free parking. I don't live in the U.S., but what impact will the new FAA rules have on FPV in the U.S.? Okay, so theoretically, the biggest thing is everybody has to have a remote ID. Unless you're flying at, say, a field like this, if we get it registered as a FRIA, then you won't have to have a remote ID. But in general, you're going to have a remote transmitting module that will broadcast your position and altitude to somebody somewhere. There's not a lot of details on how it's going to work. Shielded operation is not a thing, I believe, anymore. Most flying, I think if you're flying with a part... what the hell is it called? Part 51, part 71, shit, whatever the UAS operator license is. I can't remember numbers right now. If you're doing anything with that is going to be monetized, working for a part 107. Dang, thanks, man. Thank you, Zach. If you're doing anything part 107 related or even could be part 107 related, you'll have to have remote ID. So if I go race at this FRIA, but I plan on putting the race footage on my YouTube channel, if my intent is to record it to put on my YouTube channel, I must fly with remote ID and a part 107, regardless. Now, if I didn't intend when I flew that pack to put it on YouTube or monetize it in any way, then technically I'm not flying under the part 107. Everything in the US, as far as all the alphabet soup things like FAA, FCC, DEA, it's all about intent. So that was the original thing, was to remove FRIAs. That has been walked back. They're not, that's not a thing. You still have to have a FRIA, but they're not putting a moratorium on how long it can be until they no longer register FRIAs. Speedy Turtle smells like cigars. Yeah, okay, so you know what I mean. The frame still stinks. Like, I don't think it's the frame. I think it's the rubber pad that most of the stank's coming from. So, Eric, I did a live stream build of the cheapest Banggood F7 quad worth building. Bought all the parts before the holidays and got the parts in just prior to the end of the year, and the frame smells like some just chain smoking cigar smoker just blew his last breath into the bag and sealed that shit up before they sent it, and it stinks. I hate it. Who uses Dragon Link? There's a lot of people that use Dragon Link. None that aren't probably funded by the government. We'll put it that way. So other things about the new FAA legislation. The big thing I'm concerned about is the RFID module, or the remote ID modules. What my hope would be is somebody could rub a few brain cells together and realize that if you have a quad like this with a GPS unit in it, this transmits telemetry back to your radio. It transmits altitude, speed, GPS coordinates. Your radio receives that. You take your radio, you plug a module into the USB port, and that's your transmitter. I no longer need to buy a module for this as long as I got GPS. GPS units are light enough and cheap enough that I don't have a problem with it. The other issue is flying on private property. You don't own anything above the ground you stand on. That is the FAA's property. All right, my feet are tired. I gotta get off this thing.
yeah, unless you build a structure. They can't regulate indoors because they don't own. Spleef, I got a pint and a home built one wheel thing. Yeah, I've been on it for like the last hour and a half. So yeah, anything. Yeah, you don't own any airspace above your house or above your property. It's not yours. It's the FAA's. Which means that if some yokel hillbilly down in the heart of Alabama, shoots down an Amazon drone, that is a federal offense because you now shot down a registered aircraft. It's always been that way, though. Big companies like Google, Amazon, and all that, they were pushing really hard for the network connected remote ID because they don't want their drones broadcasting so anybody could see where they're at. They wanted it to be kind of behind a firewall, so Joe Bob that wants some parts or some free laxatives that are getting shipped by Amazon Prime can't just go find the drone and knock it down. They were pushing really hard for that, and they didn't get it. Eric Allen, what do you mean by does that count for registered aircraft? Yes, it does. As long as you've registered it. So yeah, all my drones are registered because I'm a Part 107 holder and I try to play by the rules. Oh boy. Sorry, chair just let down. I try to play by the rules as best I can, within reason. My drones are registered like they should be, especially the ones that I do Part 107 stuff with. Because right now you're still kind of flying as a hobbyist or a Part 107 flyer, so I kind of have to figure out where I'm at depending on what I'm doing. If I fly over my neighbor's yard and he shoots it down, it's a federal matter. He shot down an aircraft. Granted, there's lots of things that they could counter me with, but just for example, I still haven't gotten the VTX for that Steel 5 build from Banggood. I got a feeling that VTX is lost forever. It's in the States somewhere. It actually got from China to the US pretty darn quick. Just once it got to the US. Oh no. She's gone. Oh, actually, I just got an update for it for today. It's in Atlanta. It's moving. It's not lost. This sounds like a rando question, but do people get worse with age in shooters? I thought you said something about that. Like first-person shooters, yeah, you lose your kind of twitch muscle reaction. The reaction time between perception and reaction decreases. Office park in Atlanta, that sounds freaking awesome. Strapple asks, is ham certification technically still required for use over 25 milliwatts in the US? Absolutely. It's required for anything that's not Part 51 certified, which is every VTX except for one that nobody uses because it's a pile of shit, is not Part 51 certified. So yes, you do need to have a ham operator's license. The power output is besides the point. This is the pile of crap that this one is Part 51 certified. That's like the only one. It's because the antenna is not removable is a big reason why that's Part 51 certified. DJI, on the other hand, if you're using their goggles and their radio, that entire setup is Part 51 certified, and you do not have to have a ham operator's license. Granted, there are some loopholes that you're working with. Like as soon as you change out the antennas on anything, it's no longer certified because it's only certified in the configuration in which it was sold or verified as Part 51 certified. So as soon as you change the antenna out, it's not the certification's invalid. Most radios are Part 51 certified, like the like FR Skies, the TBSs, those are mostly Part 51 certified. Any alpha spots in mobile not in controlled airspace? There's a lot of them that if you have the Lance app, they're in airspace, but they'll have ceilings at like 100, 200, 300 feet, and you don't really have to worry about it. Once you really understand how the airspace works, it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, close into an airport, think of it as like a tiered. Let's go back to the TweetCat here. So you've got your airport tower here. So the airspace is like this as you go out from the airport. So like this is airspace, this is airspace, this is airspace, because aircraft don't come in and land like this. They come in at a glide slope angle, and then, well, I mean, it would be more like this through their own airspace. So I mean, there's a park here 2 miles away from the airport. You can fly 100 feet and under, but you still got to use the Lance system for now. Which I really like the Lance system. I thought that was a good, compromise, but whatever. What about DJI antenna? Do you like if you use the MMCX to SMA? Yeah, whatever came as the original equipment is what it's certified for. So if you switch it out for an SMA, it's no longer Part 51 certified. Oh, the program's called Air Maps. Sorry. Not Lance. Well, it's the Lance system, but Air Maps, the app that utilizes the Lance system. You'd be surprised how many airports and like helipads there are. So if you look at the Lance app, all these spaces right here, this is an airport. These are all 0. Like you cannot fly anywhere here. But this is less than a mile from the airport. You can fly 100 feet and under. And the farther out you get, so we're up 100 feet, 200 feet, 250 feet. This is a great utility to know where to fly. And once, like, let's say you want to fly, like this is right off, so here's the departure end of runway 18. You can fly right here less than a mile away at 100 feet and under. Zach, are you in the US? Curious. Yeah, it might not be Part 51. It might be Part 15. Sorry, it's Part 15, not Part 51. I'm pretty sure I have numeric dyslexia. I think it's Part 15, not Part 51. My bad. So you know, there's some stuff like if you go to TBS's website, you'll see where they have applications for certification for Part 15. That is the application for it. Whether it actually was accepted, I don't know. But yeah, long and short of it, if you're operating something that hasn't been certified by the FCC, you have to have a ham operator's license. Or sorry, ham technician license. It's ham technician. It's a pretty easy certification to get. There's a bunch of apps like Ham Test Prep. You just study for a couple weeks, and then go take a test, and you'll get your certification. Now, I'm really enjoying the live stream with a little bit of music in the background. It's probably a lot louder for me than it is for you guys. But I'm using a company called Epidemic Sound. It's all royalty-free music. Of course, it's a service you got to pay for. But there's a guy on YouTube. His name's Harris Heller. If you guys haven't heard of him, he actually has made a bunch of copyright-free music and put it on a lot of streaming platforms like Spotify. And he gets paid advertising royalties from Spotify, but it's free to use, which is incredible. And the dude makes fucking bank off of it too. I think I saw something like he makes like 1/500th of a cent per playback, and I think they do like 40,000 playbacks a month. So just do the math. Eric Allen, thank you so much for the super chat. Boom. Updated. Speedy, you can't hear it. You're not the first person that said they can't hear the music. Can you hear it when I stop talking? This should be pretty faint. I didn't want it to be too overpowering over my talkie-talkie. Well, let me turn it up a little bit. See if that helps. All right, so. All right, is that better? Is that better? It's not too loud now. I just didn't want to be like too in your face, you know what I mean? Still that low, huh? Needs more cowbell. There's an 80s kid. Alright, how's that? Won't be too much. I'm just like you. I wake up, I put my pants on one leg at a time, and I make gold records. All right. You like it like that? Anybody disagree? I'm still trying to tweak things and figure things out. Hit me with it. All right, cool. Thanks for the input. Great, that's what I'm looking for. Just kind of something to fill the background. It's Darts. Welcome, buddy. Thanks. Same house, just a different side of a wall. How's the weather up in the Dirty D? Oh, they're 3-hole mount. Man, where? Hey, I got a new subscriber. E-Rope. Something weird characters. Thank you. And there's only 3. Ooh. Gonna build a tricopter? Tricopter? If only you could get a frame that has a 3-hole mount on it. Like that. And 4. Oh, shoot. Be right back. I forgot to let my poor dog out like 2 hours ago. What? Feral. Explain that one. Kind of curious. This frame? That one right there? That is the Tweed FPV cavity frame. Predates toothpick. Yeah. A little girl, sweetie. She's been outside. She is a little on the chilly side. Yeah, Dauntless, definitely 4-hole in the front. Perfect. Yeah, you just have to just do the start of a session every time. It's really quick. It only takes maybe most places are automatic authorization as long as you check all the right boxes, and then other ones I've never had to wait for more than a minute for authorization. The whole point of that program is so you stop calling towers because they don't want to talk to you. I only have the 3 cut right now. One of them is cut wrong. I just ran out of space on the carbon fiber sheet, so I cut one in the wrong orientation just so I could show what the difference is. No, you don't have to be 107. So when you start the app up, you got to register with the app. No big deal there, but it'll ask you like, is this a fun fly or is it like a 107 fly? Just put fun fly, and then just check all the boxes that it asks for. Like, is there an observer? Yes, there is. Is it going to be line of sight? Yes. Have you checked the weather? Yes. And then you basically pick a radius of your flight area and a time of how long you're going to fly, and you hit submit, and it'll say waiting for authorization, and then it'll go boom, you're good to go. Or it'll say no. I've never seen it go no though. Oh, dang it, sweetie, you are all up in this. Oh boy. Can I cut one for you, Speedy? I probably could. I got to get some more carbon. Yeah, his original frame was like that. I actually made this and started cutting and selling these before Kebab started selling his frames. I only sold maybe 30, 35 of those things. Then I stopped for a while. Okay, so if it says automated authorization coming soon, then you got to call the tower. Which, it's a pretty quick deal. It's not a big deal. Call them, just say what you're doing, and they'll just say yay or nay. And sometimes you'll talk to a guy and he'll be like, look, if you're under 500, if you're under whatever 50 feet, don't call me anymore. And just do what they say. Yeah, the steel 5-frame is just built like a brick shit house. I mean, I don't know how well it's going to crash, but it is surprisingly solid. I'm very impressed with that frame. Farrell, I have a 107 to fly, you control. Now to say I have to put remote ID on it now or I go to jail. You may want to read into the rules a little bit closer. Plus, it's not for another 3 years, so. Oh, you're Mal from Kiesler? I don't know how much a sheet of carbon is. Alright, you are getting really needy. How about you go lay down? Covered dog hair now. So a 200 by 300 2 mil thick sheet of carbon fiber is about $30. I can get 2 frames out of a sheet and cut them the right way. Yes, I have. Rick Cepeda asks, have I seen a video of Tommy torturing his poor little 250 frame? Yeah, I have. It was pretty impressive. That frame. Yeah, his frame or whatever he does is probably the best luck we're going to have in this hobby for getting under 250 with a 5-inch that flies worth a darn. I have built a 5-inch toothpick that was under 250 grams about a year ago, and it flew terrible. It just floated. Like you'd punch the throttle and it would just slowly come back to Mother Earth. Dauntless, email me on the side, tweetfpv@gmail.com, or hit me up on Discord and we can talk about it. I have some 3 mil carbon sheets out back. I'm going to try to cut one out of. Yeah, but like I cut one of them wrong just because I had extra carbon laying around. Here is one that's cut right. Not a lot of flex. I mean, it's only 2 mil carbon, so it does flex. Here's one where the weave's cut in the wrong direction. Same amount of pressure. I'll be honest, this frame will fly just as well as the other one. Honestly, I think the one cut wrong crashes better because the arms will bend, and you can bend them back a few times. These ones just snap off if you crash hard. But the only buddy of mine broke one of these once, but he was doing a power loop through his garage, through an outdoor carport, and just annihilated it into the concrete, and he broke an arm. But it took a lot to get there. Yeah, hit me up on the side. We can work something out. Yeah, definitely being cut wrong is not ideal. But I mean, I just had some extra laying around to cut. I mean, I know why the Chinese companies cut their frames wrong, because you can get a lot. I mean, a lot more yield out of a sheet if you cut them wrong. If I cut all my frames on the same 200 by 300 millimeter sheet, if I cut them all wrong, I could get 4 frames out of it. If I cut it the right way, I can get 2, which sucks. I mean, that's half the yield. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of an oldie but a goodie design. I kind of put the little nubbins on there so you could run a rubber band for a lipo strap, or you can just do the 4-arm rubber band thing. 16 by 16 FC mounting holes, and then also the normal AIO, and then the 3x or the 4x screw mounting holes, motor mounting holes. Yeah, it's all about the dollars, you know. How would you? I mean, say you worked for say you ran a CNC, because the companies that design frames don't cut them. They pay somebody else to cut them. Guy says, hey, if I turn these 45 degrees, I can double your yield. Same cost, twice as much output. Who on earth is going to say no that doesn't know any better? And they're still going to sell it. Yeah, I think with this is a stretched 3-inch, which I haven't seen any real. I'm sure they're out there. I just haven't seen them. A stretched 3-inch toothpick. I was running the Amaxino something KV motors on these, and those are really good motors. They're kind of older now, but good motor. They work really well on that platform. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the streaming setup. I think this looks nice. I like this. The lights make a big difference. Nice, soft, high output lights. I got the Elgato key light and the key light air. So key light air is over here on the side, and then the key light here is in the front. And man, this thing could get stupid bright. That's 27%. If I crank this thing up, it's like looking at the sun. HLRC Arrow. Oh, it's like a. That's cool. It's like a traditional style toothpick. Well, not toothpick at all, but that's cool. It looks heavy though. Looks durable as shit though. I mean, it's got a lot of tough carbon on it. 3-inch. Ooh. Oh, 3-inch. 3-inch quad. I like the 3 mounting hole idea for the motor. Wow, words. I think I just stroked out there for a second. Do I have any 7-inch rigs? No, I don't anymore. I had a few. Never really enjoyed the heavyweight 7-inch rig, so I'm really enjoying the 4-inch long range stuff. And then if I want something big, I've got the big old nasty X class I'm staring at right now. That's what you want to. That's a crowd pleaser. I don't care who you are. Yeah, and it's hard to know if the frame's gonna be cut well when you get it. Like the first tiny trainer I got, the carbon was cut wrong. So I asked 533 like, what's up with the carbon, and they said that was actually done intentionally. The outer sheet's always like a vanity sheet. Typically, it dictates what the weave looks like on the inside. That particular run of carbon fiber was purely cosmetic on the outside. The inner weave was correct. I haven't broken one to see, but it's just like, why on earth would you do that? That's just a terrible idea. Because people know just enough to be trouble about how the carbon fiber is supposed to go. And if they buy a higher end racing frame like the tiny trainer and it's cut wrong, they're gonna squawk about it. But I said, nope, it's actually cut properly. It just doesn't look like it. Yeah, absolutely. It'll run at whatever the lowest kV motor is. Yeah, Pit-Tune's really good at dealing with wrong size motors. A lot of like the multi-GP events, like they do like fun races, and they'll do like the rando prop challenge. There'll just be a bag of props, big bag of props, beat up props, good props, who knows what size props. You need to grab 4 props out of that bag, and you go fly a heat with random props. You might grab a 3-inch prop, a 5-inch prop, another 5-inch prop, and a 4-inch, and it'll handle it. The most performance you're going to get is whatever the weakest component is. Nameless RC 400 milliwatt VTX and DVR. I'll be honest. What I typically ran on this was like the cheapo AIOs, kind of like what Kebab was doing on his toothpick builds. It's more than enough. Once you start throwing a bunch of extra weight on there, you really can screw up the performance of these things. Let's see, this thing that I built. Be right back. I absolutely built it in the world, This one is under 250. Actually, it's at exactly 250. This is the QAV S Mini 3-inch frame. This is all parts that came out of the sub 250 Get FPV crates, or the FPV crate sub 250 crates. This is obviously not the battery, but this is all parts out of that. I think the only thing I added to it that didn't come with it was the crossfire receiver and that one zip tie and a battery. But this is exactly 250 grams, and this thing flies freaking good, like really good. It's got enough ass in it that you can huck it, and it's got enough power that it can recover from a dive, which I really enjoy flying it. Unfortunately, it's got a little issue with that arm right here. It's a little broken. Staring it right up in a tree. The motors, these are the Xylo Stealth 1408s. Well, that doesn't have shit for resolution, does it? Nope, that's terrible. There you go. The Xylo Stealth. These are pretty damn notchy motors, but it flies really well with them. No jello, no shakes. Granted, I'm not running an HD cam on it because, again, sub 250. Yeah, these are pretty damn notchy. Notchier than these were a set of a Maxino of 1408s that I had. I honestly thought that they were bad when I pulled the first one out of the box because I couldn't turn the damn thing. They are by far the notchiest motors I have ever felt in my life. They are downright difficult to turn. But they had some power behind them. Coincidentally, that's what I also put on that toothpick 5-inch that I flew, or that I built. That was another, let's see, what was that, a Gate Hunter? This is Gate Hunter frame. So that was this guy here. Really neat concept. So to center, to lock all the arms together, he used a chainring bolt off a mountain bike, which it's kind of neat design. Flew like shit. But then again, this was about a year ago that I built this, so I don't know. Well, no, not a year. Maybe 8 months. No, about a year ago. Yeah, a year ago. Built this, so could be better by now, you know, with the way it flies and with the way the motors are now. All right, Speedy Man, I'll see you later, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. To all this, I should do Crossfire Nano Mini Immortal T and some separate VTX and a better AO because 3S batteries is what I got. Gotcha. Let's see. Oh, it's 1S though. I like this concept because it's like everything in a nice, neat package. I just wish it was not just 1S. I have a Seal Racing AIO that looks pretty beefy. Yeah, I mean, it's hardly whoop sized, but it's got the whoop mounting. And this does have provisions for mounting a crossfire and a oh, here we go. So yeah, crossfire receiver mounts here, and then I think a unified nano mounts there, I believe. I could be wrong about that. That's not the one I'm looking for. There we go. I mean, shit, I could probably just go grab it and look at it. Oh, thanks. I'm probably gonna stop this in a little bit, anyways. Same deal. I gotta get going to bed soon. Do you record HD when you fly 4-inch long range? I do. I do. With my Naked GoPro Hero 6. Sorry, I don't have my Stream Deck hooked up. I couldn't.
If you have a 107, you need remote ID on your toothpicks. Is that anytime you fly, even if it's not for 107 purposes? I'm working on a video building the cheapest GoPro Naked Hero 6. I've actually been able to source all the pieces that you need to build one without actually buying a GoPro. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much in line with existing FAA regulations. If I go to the field and I fly a toothpick and decide to put on my YouTube channel and I click that monetize button, it was a 107 flight. Now, if all 107 flights require remote ID, that's where the difference is now, which I guess kind of makes sense. But this stuff's far from finalized. I think there's still going to be some revisions. But then again, if a toothpick's under 250, then it's unregulated, right? I don't know how they're going to intersect all these little loopholes, because sub 250, it's a toy, and none of the stuff counts, I think. I still got to read up. I've read through it quickly a couple times, but you know, it's one of those things, every time you read it, something new pops up. BeepTube, welcome. Yeah, you need a 107 for line of sight. If it flies, it needs 107. If you're doing it for if you're going to monetize anything from the flight. Putting your logo on it wouldn't constitute as 107, but if putting that logo on it is going to earn you revenue, or somebody revenue, then yes, it's a 107 flight. So actually it says you need 107 for any video you post to social base, I'm assuming social media, based on what the FAA said. Oh yeah, so that gets into a loophole, because XJet really likes to look for the literal translation of everything. If I don't have a 107, I take a video, I put it on YouTube, I'm not monetized. YouTube monetizes that video because YouTube's running ads, then yes, technically it's a 107 flight, but it wasn't your intention. It's all about intention. I didn't intend to make any money off of that. YouTube made money off of it. I would say YouTube would be the one at fault, because they are unknowingly monetizing your video. It's one of those things that if it got brought up and went to some sort of trial, it would just be like, this is fucking retarded. Get the hell out of here. Jeremy, thanks, man. I've been working on it pretty hard for the last couple days. Got some new equipment in. Got some LED Wi-Fi enabled light bulbs. Got some new key lights. I know I paid too much by going with Elgato, but they are so good compared to other LED lights I've used. So I got the Elgato Air and the Elgato, just the normal key light, and they are. And as soon as I turn them on, I'm like, oh shit, I see why they're so expensive. Brandon, apparently the transponder is the size of a small VTX. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. It was huge pain, zero compliance. Yeah, and what I'm understanding is the transponder, you can move from quad to quad. It's not tied to each quad, which I like that idea. I also would like the idea if they would take the telemetry off of this to my radio and transmit it from the radio, so I'm not putting anything on here.
Enough trolls out there that will be wise for us all get part 107s. No. I mean, don't get a 107 unless you need it. Yeah, I remember when the smart bulbs came out, it was all the Philips Hue stuff, and that stuff was just stupid expensive. Now these cheap Chinese knockoff LED bulbs, they work great. Um, I know the Philips Hue stuff looks better than just about everything out there, but for what I'm trying to do with just some accent lighting, the cheapo things work great. Beep Tube with a $5 super chat. Thank you, buddy. I just finished building a 6-inch Shark Bite Glide. Here's $5 towards your Shark Bite camera and VTX. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Let's go update the total. Because Streamlabs doesn't do it for me. Thank you. Appreciate it. Plan on getting that going. I've got it connected to my Orcas, which took a little doing. Strapple, new guy here. Enjoyed the stream. Have a great night. Tweet. Yeah, thanks, Strapple. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate you. You stopped by. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again. Have a good night, man. Oh, the Before You Fly. Yeah, guess what? Guess what? Before You Fly was created and funded by the government. So, got on my Orcas, going with a flat flex cable that I picked up off of the usual scumbags. Try to keep it nice and neat. It does suck they don't integrate into the goggles quite as well as the Fat Sharks do, but so far, so good. I haven't built up a quad with a VTX or camera in it yet, but I had the Bite Frost system back in the day when that came out, and I was really impressed with it, other than the stupid screen you had to carry around with you. There's going to be all my night flights on YouTube linked only. Don't want to get any angry emails from the FAA. Once normies catch on, they'll be flagging us. Yeah, most likely they will. Yeah, most likely. I don't know. Oh, geez. Thanks, Rick. Thanks for the offer. I'll hit you up a little bit later. I would have mounted. I would have mounted them to the top, but angled down so the patches would be better. I tilted my head. Yeah, that would have been better. I really missed the boat with this this new DJI launch. I should have just grabbed my goggles and held them up and said, "Oh, I've got the V2s. Here's what I think about them," and just read off the spec sheet, because I don't think anybody would have known, except for mine are pretty heavily customized right now. I'm really disappointed with the DJI goggle launch. Until we find out what that 2.4 gigahertz transmitter receiver in it's for, I'm gonna hold off. Yeah, version 1.09. Yeah, the DJI launch was and I'm not even OLED. Like, if they were OLED, I could at least get behind it, but not even that. It's just what a dumb thing. My hope is the 2.4 gigahertz transmitter is going to be used while racing. It'll be for telemetry back and forth between the quad instead of over 5.8. The biggest problem with the goggles that I have with them is I can't race with people that are on analog. It interferes far too much to actually play well. If the goggles stopped transmitting on 5.8 and they started transmitting on 2.4, they'd be perfect. Like, maybe they're going to come up with a race VTX that's going to do that. I mean, they could even make this. They could even they could fix this really simply just by having a race mode where the goggles don't talk to the quad, or it talks to the quad once just to set the VTX channel, and then it shut up, stop talking, because I can't fly standing within like 100 feet of somebody in analog because it'll blast them out of the sky. Eric Allen, awesome. Thank you for the offer. I will get back to you on that. I don't know what, until the new VTXs come out, I don't see what the advantage is. I mean, they're going to be exactly the same as the V1s. The fit's the same, the shell's the same. Dang it. I keep kicking the lever with the back of my heel. But I mean, dude, you're gonna really enjoy the DJI experience. The video quality is like nothing else. Looking for some good DJI antennas. Any recommendations? Price doesn't matter. The ones I really like are the True Air, the True RC antennas, because they're a little bit better reception, but they're shorter and smaller and they pack away better. That's the only reason I have. BJ Engineering, is that confirmed somewhere, or is that speculation? Yeah, light leaks in the same place. The body of it's the same. But there hasn't been any FCC filings for a new air unit, so that's all speculation. At least I haven't seen any yet. I could be behind. You're probably right. 2.4 is probably for the FPV drone. But I kind of remember when there were leaks of that DJI controller that had 900 megahertz on it, which would then be RC link to a drone. Who knows? Drone Man FPV says Hack RC F732OD for analog help. Well, let's see what the hell you're talking about. Oh, the V2 might be Mavic capable? Okay. I think the Orca goggles are Mavic capable. Alright, Drone Man. What do you need help with? Are you asking, can you use it for analog? The Armaton 3-inch tadpole, it's a good idea, good frame, too heavy. I think there's better options out there that are lighter. But the tadpole's a solid frame and it has their lifetime warranty. That's the main reason to go with Armaton is their lifetime warranty. And I do like the titanium and the aluminum parts that they put on their drones. For 3-inch, I don't know, probably a 1408 would 1408 is like the safe go-to size. Okay, Drillman says, is 35 wired up the 35 amp ESC to my motors for 22 at 7. Yeah. Damn near every frame from Arbiton's on the heavier side. Okay, it says that it can do analog. It's for DJI, but when I plug my battery after I thought I wired everything up correctly, no flight tones. I'm trying to translate here. No flight controller tones. So you get the doot doot doot, but you don't get the doot doot. So you get the first three. Doot doot. You get the first three, but not the last two. Is that what you're trying to say? And your receiver's not powering up either? So I'm curious, if you have USB connected and you plug in a LiPo, do you get all 5 tones? And does your receiver then power up? Okay, you got to rewire the cable between the ESC and the flight controller. So my guess is going to be that, one, you either wired it incorrectly between the flight controller and the ESC, which will do one of two things. One, it won't provide power to the flight controller, or two, it provided power to the wrong place in the flight controller, and the flight controller is toast. It's very easy to do. But can you connect the flight controller to Betaflight? Does it recognize it? It does recognize it? Okay. Well, that's somewhat of a good sign. I would definitely go back and double check your wiring. Make sure you have everything wired properly. The not getting that last 2 sets of tones is because your flight controller is not, 5-volt regulator shot. Or I mean, does any of the LEDs come on the flight controller when you plug your LiPo in with USB disconnected? Rick Spada tweet, on some F7s you have a solder bridge for voltage between 5 or VVAT. I found out that with my Talon F7. Yeah, There are a lot of flight controllers that are like that, and I typically don't realize that until I'm done soldering everything up on the other side of the board. I've wired up a few of those Talon F7s, and man, that is probably one of the more difficult flight controllers to solder up that I've ever dealt with. Their solder pads are just microscopic, and they're all like edge pads. Yeah, Drone Man. Unfortunately, that if the wiring has been done properly, and you're getting what you're getting, then yeah, it's not looking too good. I've got a Hyperlink or a FPV Cycle Glide here that I need to build. I'm just not really sure what parts I'm going to put on it. No lights. Okay, yeah, that's one of two things. One, you wired it up wrong and you're not getting power to your flight controller, or two, you wired it up wrong and you killed your flight controller. Sorry, buddy. Not a lot you can do. You can wire in a you can wire in a 5-volt regulator, but I think probably just getting a new piece of kit might be what you need to do here. Smoke stopper could have helped you, depending on how much the problem is, or how much of a problem you had. But I'd go back and double check your wiring. Just make sure you have everything wired properly. Make sure that you actually have like continuity between all your wires. Maybe one of the wires isn't pushed into the JST connector all the way and it's not making contact. It's going to be one of the two wires for it's going to be one of these two wires, the ground and VCC. One of these two are going to be the ones that you are going to be having issues with. Current RX3 and motors 1, 2, 3, 4 don't really matter when it comes to powering the flight controller, but VCC and ground most definitely do. I've wired up one of the older Helio Spring 20x20 flight controllers. I wired that up wrong, doing the same thing. Had to swap a bunch of wires around between the ESC and the flight controller. I put VBAT on motor output 4, and I blew a hole in the MCU. Wasn't very smart, but I did fix it by putting a new MCU on it. Lots of pads on it, lots of UARTs. You have 3 LEDs here. A lot of companies are putting LEDs on there for troubleshooting. There'll be like a 3.3, a 5 volt, and then something else like the LEDs will flash. There's not a whole lot of documentation on this thing. Chris W, I can't get PL2 to recognize my quad. It's a port problem on Windows. Are you using the Chrome plugin
or the Chrome app, or are you using the actual BLHeli suite? Also, when you do it, make sure you have Betaflight closed, not just disconnected, but actually closed. Betaflight will mess with your ability to get into BLHeli. You also need to have a LiPo connected. Wouldn't that be a crazy quad frame? Do something like that. I don't even know how you do a mixer for that. I'm good. There's VCC and ground. They're good, but there is 2 positive minus pads. Chris, so one of your motors is spinning the wrong way. Easy fix, just swap any 2 wires on that motor that's going the wrong way. That'll get you around this whole BLHeli issue. As far as actually it's solving your issue with getting into BLHeli suite, that's a whole other ball of wax, especially when you start dealing with driver issues. But so you said no on the Chrome app, or is that was supposed to be on Chrome, Chris? Yep, definitely a good USB cable. But if you've been able to connect to Betaflight, then if you can connect to Betaflight, then you can connect to BLHeli. Unless for some reason you don't actually have a BLHeli S ESC and you have a BLHeli 32 ESC, then you're not going to be able to connect. You'll have to download the BLHeli 32 suite. Yeah, hit me up in Discord. Be able to help you out better over there for sure. Did also miss if voltage was plugged into the ESC? Yeah, I think he had a LiPo plugged into the ESC. Because he's getting the motor startup tones, the doot doot doot. He's just not getting the sync tones from the flight controller. Chris W, very much welcome. It's like I haven't used the SpeedyB app in a really long time. Does it do BLHeli suite now, or is it still just Betaflight stuff? I kind of remember somebody saying it does BLHeli now. Could be wrong. I don't remember. Oh, it does BLHeli now. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Do you have to pay for for the SpeedyB app now? Because I remember if you're using release candidates, they made you pay for it. It goes. B, G, G, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'd have to. I don't. What ESC do you have? Is it a Hack RC ESC? Drone Man, is this the ESC that you have here? Drone Man with a super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. Very much appreciate it. So you say it goes Hack RC 35 amp. It's a 30 amp. No. Is it that guy? This one right here? All right. No, not this one. This one? Doesn't have the 20 by 20 mounting holes. Alright, so that's 20 by 20. This one's 30 by 30. But it's a 30 amp. Toxic, welcome, buddy. Welcome to the live stream. This is just kind of a impromptu. I was sitting down kind of messing with things in OBS and decided to just hit the go live button. Just for shits and grins and whatnot. Yeah, I'm not finding a 35 ESC with a 30 by 30 mount. Hack RC. Find individual ESCs that are 35 amp. Oh, it's the 30. Okay, so it's this one, right? This one? I think you're saying it's this one here. 30 by 30, 30 amp. 401. Feel hell yes. Just trying to find a better picture of it. Yeah, I can't see what the pin out. It looks like it's 5 volts, ground, something 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't really make out the way the pinout is, and I don't see any real documentation on it. Looks like a good diagram right there. So you're saying ground. That doesn't make any sense either. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm gonna need a little bit more. I need a little more documentation on this thing. I can't make heads or tails of this pin without like getting a better picture of it. Go over to my Discord and I can help you out better over there.
send some pictures back and forth. Might be able to help you get to the bottom of it. But just the product images I'm finding on the interwebs are just not helping me out at all. But anyways, as I'm talking, okay, 5-volt ground. Yeah, I don't understand what it is. So this has a 5-volt output on it. And it's possible that it's not it's possible that it's not actually powering this, because this needs more than 5 volts. You need VBAT. This thing is outputting 5 volts. It looks like 5-volt ground. 5-volt ground, B, whatever the hell that is, 1, 2, 3, 4. B might be, I think back in the day, B was a designator for battery power, so that'd be your VBAT. So B would possibly go in pin 2 here for VCC. It's just a guess. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3 ground current. After looking once more. Well, you've got to have a power somewhere. You've got to have, I mean, I guess you don't have to, but you should have a power somewhere, a power output. Yeah, man. Hit me up over on Discord. Yeah, hit me up over on Discord. I might be able to help you out better. I can definitely help you out better than I could going through what little documentation I have. Probably not allowed. All right, Chris Croft, I will make you a moderator real quick, so you can go ahead and post your link. You should be able to post a link now. So my microphone's gonna run out of juice here in a minute. Okay, yeah, I saw that one before. So yeah, if that's the sorry, if this is the pinout you have, which doesn't correspond with how many pins are on this thing, which, come on, where are we at? Which is weird. So this is showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outputs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, battery and ground, but this thing's showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pins. All right, I'm gonna send a pic.
we'll see what we got. Right, God, so many of them aren't including documentation, or they include horribly screen printed boards. Every once in a while you get one of those boards that the screen printing on it is so crystal clear and well placed that manual is almost unnecessary, but it's always nice. It's always nice when they send one. Yeah, I just don't. This doesn't look accurate. Like, this is missing something. All right, guys. I would love to be able to help you out some more, Drone Man tonight. Drone Man tonight. My microphone is actually beeping at me. It's about to cut out because I done talked too much tonight. Hit me up on Discord. Go to that link, tweet@fv.com. There's a link to my Discord in there. Hit me up on Discord. I could definitely get you helped. I could definitely help straighten you out a little better over there than we can over here through the YouTube chat thing. I really appreciate everybody coming by tonight and just kind of hanging out and shooting the shit. Eric Allen, thanks for stopping by. Drone Man, Chris Croft, everybody else in the chat. Zach, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. I love doing these live streams. I love interacting with you all in real time. This is so much more enjoyable than the traditional YouTube upload chat spew cycle that I've been in. All right, that's live streaming 2 days in a row. We can go for 3. But anyways, thanks for the input on the live stream setup. I really like it. I think I really like this chat window thing I got going here, and I think this is a winner. And and the nice thing is I figured out what to do with that really awkward spot between when I'm done live streaming and I actually go to end the live stream. It's gonna look like this. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking this out. Tweet@fv.com for everything. Tweet, Patreon, and affiliate links are over there. All your support is greatly appreciated, and I will see you all next time. Stay safe.